So you did your own timing belt, you're proud of yourself because the car started up, everything seems to be good except for the slight vibration in the engine. You could feel it in the steering wheel, park and everything. It just has this little shake. Well, I'm going to tell you that a half a tooth off will cause that. And we're going to talk about it and show you how. Okay, so just like in the opening, I talked about timing being a half a tooth off and how that affects the vehicle in the long run. So I took the rest of the cover off. I had to put the top cover back on, so because that's where this Volvo, the markings are. And I want to explain to you, even a tech, a good tech, someone that's done 100 timing belts could make this mistake. Has to do with the angle of where you're standing. Let's be realistic. They don't make it mechanic or tech friendly when they assemble these things. We have a strut tower in the way. That cam marking, I can't get a good angle at it because the mark that you line up to is under the cover here. So what do? Let's use our cameras. That's a little tip that I use. I'll take a camera, I'll bring it straight down, take a picture, and now I have that straight on angle. And the harmonic balancer marking, it's really hard to see on this car. And that's where I think the problem is. Both cams line up what I consider to be perfect, but down there it looks like it's a little bit de-advanced. It's not advanced, it's in the negative force. And I think it's like a half a tooth off. So we're going to take the harmonic balancer off, and we're going to see if it's precise. Hopefully it is, then we can move on and check something else. But if it isn't, we might actually solve this problem. So now I've got the GoPro and I'm coming straight up in there. And if I'm at this angle, it looks like it's straight on. But if I bring that GoPro right to the center of the crank, look at that. There it is. There's the view. I am a half a tooth off that timing belt. All right, so now we have solved our mystery. We are off a half a tooth. So we're going to tear this thing apart, put it back together, and let's hope that that little shake goes away. It's just that kind of annoying thing. But if this was a modern car, well, we wouldn't be talking right now. We would pretty much be done. I would have already had valve damage, piston damage, because it would have been an interference engine. But because this is nice and old, it has that forgiveness. A newer engine doesn't have the forgiveness. It actually needs specialty tools to do a timing belt or a chain because you have to hold the crank in, and they don't make it easy. There's no keyways. They do that on purpose because they're interference engines. They don't want everybody doing them. They want the specialty people doing them. But this is nice. So we're going to do this one, get it solved, and hopefully see that little shake go away. So we're going to loosen up the timing belt tensioner, which is a 12mm wrench or socket. And once we loosen this up, we can slide the timing belt off. There we go. Now with the belt out of the way and our mirror in there, you can truly see that's exactly a half a tooth off. It almost looks, if I was to stand more to the left, it would be right on, but it's not. I'm right in the center with my mirror above it, and that is just a half a tooth off. There's the two marks. All right, so now I'm going to raise it up, turn that crank, and line this all up again. All right, I'm just going to use a pair of big pliers just to turn this crank because I don't want to put the nut on and then have to retrieve it in reverse. See, right there. Wow, I mean, big difference. And now you can see after moving it just a half a tooth, that's what it looks like. It should be in the center of that groove on that timing belt crank. That little pulley, that's where the mark should be, not on a high point, but a low. All right, so now we're going to put the belt back on. Pretty simple process. We're just going to put it on the crank first. I'm going to wrap it around the tensioner. You want to, when you put it on that crank, you want to get it seated right in all the lovely little timing belt grooves. Always, whenever you do timing belts on any car, it goes in one direction. If it doesn't state it, you go on the opposite side of the tensioner. The tensioner side will be the last side. So crank and then work your way around, one side up. Well, there you have it. It actually worked. Not that I kind of didn't think it was. I knew it was going to work, but I feel the difference. It's crazy difference. In the steering wheel, I hear the difference. The engine used to make a weird sound. It doesn't make it anymore. It's quieter, it's smoother, and the water itself shows you there is a difference in it. So I can't wait to get this thing out on the road and just see if I actually feel any acceleration difference. That'll even be a plus, right? So don't hesitate if you feel something's wrong after you've done some work, it just doesn't feel right to you. go ahead and double check it. Never hurts. Don't forget to check out 1AAuto.com for all your automotive car part needs. And I hope you're a subscriber. If you're not, please subscribe and don't forget to ring that bell because then it turns on all your notifications and you won't miss any future videos. Now I'm going to take that car for a ride, guys. I can't wait.